Hello everybody, this is Kairos Flame, and this morning I just wanted to talk a little bit about the energy that is surrounding us and within us right now at this moment in time. And for a group of us, it feels like the energy is moving up and out. And what I mean by that is that the residual energy leftovers from the negative habitual belief systems and the negative habitual fears that we have so ingrained in our mind, in our genetics, our DNA, that have been passed down from our ancestors. The residual energy is being released to the surface to come up and out. And what I mean by this is up and out is the awareness of your triggers, the awareness of why you're being triggered. And I don't mean the surface awareness, like I'm being triggered because such and such is doing this to me. No, I mean the trigger coming up in yourself and you understanding where the root of that is. So the root may have been in childhood. The root may have been in various timelines. The root may have been in your genetics or your DNA. So passed down from your ancestors. And to have this awareness, to move this energy up and out and clear it and be aware of it when it does come, is to prepare us to be more transparent when we enter into physical union with our beloved. So let me give you an example of this. Last year, my beloved and I came into a physical reunion. So we had a physical reunion at the beginning of the year and a physical reunion towards the end of the year. And I remember that I attacked him verbally and sarcastically. I mean, everything I said around this particular sentence was fine. It was hard. It was beautiful. But this sentence came out and it was like, boom, sarcasm. And then I was like, why did I just say that to him? And this happened on our second meeting. And I didn't understand the root cause of it. It wasn't until a week, 2 weeks later that I realized where that comment stemmed from. The root cause of my sarcasm. So I wasn't even able to catch myself doing it when I was with him and tell him, you know what, I just said that because ... I feel blank. And it is because blank. And I did not deal with blank. And that root cause was the fact that the first meeting, the first reunion that we had at the beginning of the year, there was pain that I carried with me because he, at the time, was still married to his wife. And there's some things that surrounded that, and it hurt. And it hurt so terrible. It hurt something terrible. But that's why we're not talking at this moment in time. That's why we gave each other the space, the actual space to deal with the leftovers. Okay, because he did, when I reacted in sarcasm, he, boom, reacted back in sarcasm, and he was upset. And we flowed through it pretty quickly, but, I remember just kind of staying at that frequency after that and being really upset with myself. And I wasn't able to be as transparent as I wanted to be. So what is happening is that we're catching ourselves and we're catching the root early. We're catching that root, however you want to call it, early and quickly. Another example is one of my biggest fears is the fear of abandonment through death. And I've had this fear since I was a baby, basically. I have distinct memories of being 2 to 3 years old and watching my father fall asleep on the couch and observing his diaphragm moving up and down and making sure it was moving up and down because I thought he was going to stop breathing and I thought he was going to die. Mind you, I was having nightmares of him dying in his sleep while taking a nap on the couch. Little did I know that this was the timeline coming in. I had timelines and I have memories of various timelines since I was that young. Okay, and so that fear was there, and I've had to deal with it all my life. My best friend passed away when I was 16. Okay, and then I meet my beloved, and here I am in at the time I was in my 20s, and he was 30 years older than me. So that was the surface of that. I just felt like I'm having this fear because he's older than me. And little did I know there was a root cause. And the root cause was the timelines. The timelines where I remember my beloved passing away before me and leaving myself and our child. And sometimes very dangerous situations. And when this would come up, especially over the last 3 years, this fear would come up to the surface and I would be incapacitated for an entire day. It literally felt like my beloved physically died. And I would be crying and just laying in bed all day because I couldn't take it. And after I would get out of that really deep-seated emotion, it would last a week. I would be in that residual energy for a week. So my frequency was just not where it needed to be, which is home frequency. And what I mean by home frequency is if you can close your eyes and remember the first time or the last time you looked into your beloved's eyes. If you can go inside and feel your soul. If you can go inside and connect directly to 0 point source, to creator, to spirit, the ultimate creator. If you can connect to that, that is our home frequency. And I fell out of that because of these fears. And I'll tell you what, the fear of abandonment through death came up again for me 3 days ago. And it didn't take a whole week for me to move through that energy. It took 3 minutes. I was consciously aware of it, and I took it, and I owned it, and I held it, and I comforted that fear. And then all of a sudden it was gone. And this is what we're doing. This is what is happening now with the fears that we have and the habitual patterns. They're moving up and out. And we can comfort them. We can comfort those fears rather than judge them. And the more we can embrace that fear through love, instead of judging it, instead of projecting it out on others and becoming angry with them or saying they're doing this to me and having the victim mentality, so being in the frequency of the victim mentality, how dare that person, they should be more this way to me. They should be nicer to me. This lesson is also allowing us to put in place boundaries with other people. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to leave it for this transmission. So I'll probably be back a little bit later to kind of give you all a background information about my journey kind of who I am and who my beloved is to a certain extent. I cannot go into details at this moment in time. I'm actually a very private person, but and so is my beloved. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I love you all. I wish you all the best. Until soon.